Alright, here we go with round 2 of a hell of a hard fight. This one was a doozy. He came out with an Ambipom and I came out with Swampert again, and decided to go to Dusk Noir to dodge the fake out, which is pretty standard, so I figured I was safe with that one. And now here, it's obvious I want to Will-O-Wisp, but I don't know if he's got a Fire Poke this early. But there's really no point to randomly Ice Punch something this early either. So I go with the Wisp, it failed, so be it. You can never blame somebody for trying a good move like Will-O-Wisp. I go to Starmie, as that's why I have it, is to beat Ape, and it plots up. So it's good to know that it's special. I don't really know why that's good to know yet, but it's good to know, so whatever. He brings in a Spiridon, which is a very interesting choice. You don't see it very often, and I'm afraid of the Sucker Punch. So I try and leave, and I get Pursuited. So that was an awesome move on his part, and definitely was not good for me. I should have gone to Breloom, and I thought about it. I just didn't feel like I wanted to sleep that thing yet. I hate sleeping walls, so I went to Swampert to set up Stealth Rock. But a little bit rusty, I forget that the thing packs Will-O-Wisp, so that completely ruins my Swampert. I guess I got Stealth Rock out of it. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Now it's just going to be death fodder later on. And in the end, sure as hell, I get Pursuited again too. Another nice move by his part. In the end, sure as hell, I just go back to Breloom anyway. So yeah. Totally not worth it. But I guess actually in the long run, Stealth Rock was a big part of this. And I don't really want to Spore it, as I said earlier, so I go for the sub first. And it works out nicely in my part. Except for the fact that I'm still stupid because I haven't played in ages, and I go for the Focus Punch while he wants to double hit. So I don't know. There's nothing I can really... there's no excuse for that at all whatsoever. He should have been Spored. But he wasn't. And now I gotta deal with it. I go to Shedinja, and that was a misclick. I didn't want to bring him out too early. I meant to go to Dusk Noir, and I didn't, and I'm pissed off about it. I didn't want to Will-O-Wisp either, afraid of the Ape, so I just went with the X-Scissor to get some damage in there. And he brings in that guy. Normally I wouldn't want to stay in, but I saw how much it did, and I know that I don't have much other chance of killing him. So I get rid of my Sash to kill him, and if that didn't, little does he know I pack Shadow Sneak, so I would have been safe. He brings in an Ape, which takes some Stealth Rock, and I gotta switch out now. I should have actually protected, but I didn't want him to get a nasty plot up, and I guess he didn't know I protected yet. But, whatever. I bring in Swampert pretty much just for death fodder, and just to make it safe, because I don't want to bring in Starmie if he just flat out grass knotted. So I'd rather bring in Starmie safely, and bring in the Starmie now. That key moment thing's a little bit off, I wonder why. But this is supposed to be the key moment right here. He brings that guy in, which is a very weird choice, and I was able to get it out of there. It probably would have died without the crit, but that was very useful in the long run. That was huge for me. Ambipom essentially did nothing. Brings in a Garchomp to a Starmie, which at first looks stupid, but that's a great move on his part because it's obviously Scarfed, and he's going to trick a lot of kids like that. So that was a fantastic move by him. I went to Dusk Noir just in case, and obviously threat with the obvious Ice Punch. I was afraid of Outrage, but Shedinja was too obvious. As you saw, he did Fire whatever, and again I predicted that guy, which is I should have done Sneak knowing he was coming in, but I didn't. I went with Ice Punch, and that's stupid because Sneak probably would have made that Sneak right there instead of go to Red and activate Blaze. Probably would have killed him. Oh well, it was okay. You know, I won't fault myself for that. I probably wouldn't have done any different even if I wasn't rusty. But should have sneaked there and I didn't. Oh well, because I did predict the Ape coming in. I finished it off, which is what I wanted anyway. Now here, I don't know if I want to go to Shedinja or not. I'm not sure what this guy's going to pack. It'd be nice to Will-O-Wisp or Pain Split him, and that's what I tried to do in the long run. I figured maybe I could get him on an Agility, but didn't happen that way, so be it. I bring in the Shedinja now just to hope and pray he doesn't pack Pursuit or something like that. And in comes that guy. I went for the Will-O-Wisp, and fortunately for me, it hit, and that's very useful. We're going to do a little bit of scouting, except that Tenchi IM'd me right then, and I didn't see his move Will-O-Wisp. But whatever. Just a little bit of scouting and burn stalling there. So I go to Blissey. I'm not afraid of Explosion anymore if he does pack it because of the burn. So I feel pretty safe. And at least right now I feel pretty safe staying in here. I get burned too, big whoop-de-freaking-do, and I start S-tossing. I told him at this point I had a CB bliss, and I was like, I'm a earthquake you because you're weak to it. And we lolled, and it was funny. And then right here, what I should have done is switch out, but stupid me forgot about pain split, so that didn't work out so well. And another key moment's coming up, but unfortunately, it's off the target where it's supposed to be. Because at this point, I told him I'm going to PP stall him, otherwise it's going to take forever. And he must have taken that seriously because he decided to switch out, which allowed me to get this awesome free heal. Now, here I had a couple of options. Could have gone to the obvious Shedinja, but I'm still worried it packs something. Who knows, man? Who knows? Special attack gross is really sweet. And I wanted to counter, but I didn't want to give that secret away just yet. I'd rather save that for the Garchomp, even though the Garchomp is scarfed. But I brought in Shedinja just to be extra safe and keep my secret alive. He withdraws, and I didn't want to, because he's got, Chomp, that guy, and Gross left, so I didn't want to burn just in case something stupid happened. So I went for some damage, and then burn stall a little bit more. Third key play, I don't know. Oh, that's right, third key play. Now here, I don't really want to bring in Bliss because we know what'll happen. I can't leave Shedinja in, and I can't go to Starmie because that dies. So what do? I go to a guy who's going to be immune to the the Will-O-Wisp, and fortunately for me, he didn't use Flamethrower, which would have been really bad. That would have sucked. Although I guess then I would have brought in Starmie safely. So, meh. But it was definitely nice, and then I was able to sub-stall as well. I don't know why he used T-Bolt. I mean, there's no reason to predict Starmie coming in. It was at like 12 hit points anyway. But so that probably wasn't too smart. But really, in the long run, it didn't matter, as he would have died regardless. I would have just subbed up again and then seed bombed or something like that. So, I don't know. He had his thought, and so be it. Brings in Garchomp, and at this point, I want to see what he does. I don't want to bring in Shedinja now, just in case he does Fire Fang, and I didn't want to bring in Starmie. Actually, I probably should have just brought in Starmie, but Breloom was pretty much useless by that point anyway. So I scouted out there, brought in the Bliss, and that's when I tried to use my secret. Unfortunately for me, he switched on it, so that sucked, because now he knows my secret. Fortunately for me, again, at this point, there's not a whole lot he can do. He pulls some sneak action and keeps going back and forth, but unfortunately for him, I'm getting leftovers, which I told him now, and he was like, "Don't!" And I told him I've got 29 uses of it left, and he was like, "Don't!" So I think he ends up just going for it. And yeah, he ends up just going for it. And the rest of the match kind of plays itself out as Shedinja is going to wall the dude unless he uses Fire Fang, and then Blissy's going to wax it anyway with counter, or hell, even S-Toss and Soft Boil. So it was a hell of a match. He's an awesome player, and unfortunately I had to fight such a good guy in the second round. Should have fought him later. Bad bracket making skills. But actually it was randomly drawn, so nothing we can do about that. But I wish him the best of luck. It was a hell of a game. He's a hell of a player. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Snarf!